2006. And and everything today is no different than what we were talking about in 2006
Precisely.
in a lot of dealerships. And hey, just in the middle of Mike, the live just
I just saw it.
it just
I just saw it.
it just went on.
Yeah, I just saw it. So we had Wendy, just so you know, we had trouble with our live stream.
So we're live now. We just had a wonderful conversation with Wendy, and
Practice session.
Should we start fresh?
Sure.
Okay. Give me the 3, 2, 1, Michael.
3, 2, 1, Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big Idea Podcast. We are lucky enough today to have Wendy Reeves. Been in the industry a long time. Very good at what she does. Very good at producing results and helping dealers. So without further ado, Wendy, tell everybody about, I'm assuming they should know who you are, but just in case they don't, tell them who you are and what you do. And thank you for being here. Wendy, we're not hearing you.
How about that?
Perfect.
now we're back.
Okay. Let me know if it stops because I had to start the truck because I'm starting to sweat bullets here because I'm in a closed truck. Anyway,
you don't have to sweat, Wendy. We're not tough interrogators.
Okay. So my name is Wendy Reeves. I am basically a lifer in the car business. My dad was a car guy, who was a GM in a number of General Motors dealerships, and then became one of the first buy here, pay here's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That said, my passion is for independents and basically struggling franchise stores that just aren't fitting under the corporate umbrella, where the same canned solution that's working on all the rest of the stores is not enabling them to grow. So I'm primarily a BDC strategist, and I've gone back to that role because there's so many dealers out there. Even if it's to have a conversation, here's where I'm at, what do I do? I think with all the added solutions that we have, I think it's making it more difficult for our dealers. And I want to say that the basic thing, the 1, 2, 3 of BDC is engage, convert to an appointment, and make sure they show up. It's all about the shows. And what's happening is we're not even getting engagement. We've got a number of different tools. We're spamming our customers with too many text messages between AI and CRM and chat services because everything is siloed and a lot of it doesn't talk to one another. So what I do is I like to MacGyver things. I like to build custom teams depending upon the dealer needs and culture, right? Which sometimes is non-existent. The needs are there, but the culture's not. So the point is, that's what I've been doing is I've been helping dealers since I left the group I was at in 2012. And then have, went into with Greg Goebel, built the BDC portion of his client portfolio, launched a number of teams there. I've since done, I don't even really do much marketing to speak of. It's all referral. But basically, I do whatever the dealer needs. We need more cash pay ROs on the service side. Great. Where our people don't have good phone skills in the BDC, we don't have a process, we don't know how to track it. Boom, I can do that. Here where I am now in the Pacific Northwest, this is only the second BDC in the area, and because they're all cradle to grave internet sales. So I believe with the larger selection of options and the more dashboards and everything else, that the most efficient way to drive traffic is with a BDC where we sell appointments, not cars. So that's who I am in my philosophy.
What challenges are you seeing uniquely? I often feel that, like with everything that ever comes into a dealership fresh, they sometimes use things like AI as a crutch rather than a tool, when it has to be a tool and it has to be tied in with humans rather than replacing.
So I'll give you a couple great examples for franchise stores. One of them, we were driving traffic, and we were driving traffic so well that we realized that a new GM realized that we were driving it to a broken culture. and they had the customers waiting in the service waiting area too long, and it resulted in bad CSI and bad reviews. So he said, okay, Wendy, I got to pause you. I need to fix my culture. So the first of the year, he had someone else watch variables. He rebuilt the fixed ops department. So he brought us back a few months later with the new service manager. We're banging it out now. Then we had another one that our agents were doing fine, same group even. Our agents were doing fine, but they've got a little bit of churn in the service department, and the advisors were not exhibiting the right phone skills, and the phones are still ringing off the hook because there's not follow-up if people don't want to engage with the AI, or they're not turning anything over 3 calls, 3 dials to the service department, 3 rings over to either a BDC or someone calling them back. That's a challenge. There's silos, there's broken promises, broken cultures, broken processes, let's call it. So, and what I'm encountering here is there's always, when you put in a BDC and they're used to only having sales, it's a case of who moved my cheese. I would equate it to the way we used to sell cars, where we had evidence manuals and then digital photo frames on our desks with rotating photos, right? To establish rapport with the customer by establishing commonalities. Now you see everybody on TikTok. They moved my cheese. That's where they're getting the lead gen. That's where they're getting the commonality. That's where they're getting people to know them, and they're getting actually selling cars from those TikTok lives. So that said, the biggest challenge is the humans right now, who are they have had so many different, I always say, even with people that think they can make a difference in 30 days, they've had so many of the wrong solutions that if the right solution is staring them in the face, whether it's a trainer or a tool, they don't recognize it because they've been playing whack-a-mole for so long, and they still need instant gratification in 30 days, which you'll never get. So like the thing here, it's taken literally a couple of weeks into the journey because there's an archaic CRM. There's a chat tool that doesn't talk to the CRM. There's a third platform for social ads that don't come into the CRM. Not everybody has the logins and the access. The humans are so used to the cradle to grave thing that they feel that there's tension between the departments because change is ugly in the middle, ugly in the beginning, messy in the middle, and beautiful in the end. And it's still a transition. And there are people that don't understand that this is part of the process. You have to trust the process. You can't uproot and change an entire existing culture and bring additional humans in. So what we did in this instance, and what I'm going to do in the next 2, is while I'm building the department literally from the ground up and interviewing, and Larry, thank you for the wonderful recruits that you're sending us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Well, when we're doing all of that, I have my agents in there for the instant impact and going through the CRM process and that process to smooth the ways and smooth the kinks that are in the existing process so that we don't have to have the new humans battling process and getting acclimated to a new industry, etc., all at the same time.
Hey, Wendy, excuse me for 1 second. Car Talk just said that about engagement. Isn't it crazy that over a century into the car business, we're still not recognizing that if you don't engage, if you're not smiling, if you're not willing, if you don't make it, hey, I'm doing you a favor by waiting on you. If you don't make it clear, boy, am I glad you're here. And we still haven't become better listeners. It's scary.
And I think what's super important is if you're going to bring somebody in on referral from someone that you know and trust, then you have to trust that person and you have to trust their process because people refer them for a reason. But you have to stay the course and you have to trust the provider. And what happens is they, like, for example, what I'm doing, as you guys are well aware, because you met the people, is that every morning we're starting with a lot walk, but then every morning I'm asking them, okay, what did you notice today that you didn't notice yesterday? They're noticing which brands are together. They're building team skills. Then they're going to the website so they can visualize on the website the vehicles they've just seen in person. oh, these vehicles are new. They're getting to know the product because we sell appointments, not cars, but we're bringing people in and earning their trust, and it's bringing value and earning the right to ask for the appointment. But we need to know what our inventory is. And I'm teaching them how to read lead notes because they have a lot of out-of-state customers. You have to read the leads. It's the same. You have to read the leads, the comments in the new lead. If it's not there in a pretty package, then dig for it. Open up to where it says lead received, and whether it's an HTML with the brackets or it's text like it should be, you need to get that information before you reach out to the customer while doing it all in a timely manner, because the customer doesn't care what you know until they know how much you care. And that's why the BDC is there. That is your why buy from us proposal. Obviously, they wouldn't come to your website or your phone lines that marketing brings them to if you didn't have competitive pricing and good imagery and all the rest of that stuff. However, marketing brings them to the website and the phone lines. BDC is your conversion tool.
Hey, Wendy,
then, please go ahead.
Because I play sports so hard, I've spent a considerable amount of my life in emergency rooms. And they always ask the same question. Are you allergic to any medicines? Because what helps one person puts somebody else into anaphylactic shock. It would be kind of dumb for them to ask that after they gave you something that puts you in a coma. We're still back to asking the right questions and listening intently. And that goes for sales and the wonderful BDC services you provide.
Precisely. So that's where we are. And it is definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't bring somebody in for a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever. And especially if you don't have leadership sitting in on the training with you, like every step of the way, or if you don't have a clear person that's going to oversee the BDC, because then when the trainer leaves, which is why I haven't even given them their playbook yet. I'm giving them everything verbally and hands-on right now, and they may or may not feel fulfilled yet. It's only day 4, but in 3 days, you're not going to learn everything to a brand spanking new industry. So you have to trust the process, and you have to custom build it, and you have to slow down when you see there's not comprehension or et cetera, right? Or buy-in. So and then you, more importantly, don't say at 30 days, okay, we got it from here, see ya, because I have never had a BDC that I have built fail, ever, in 20 years, ever. However, I tell my dealers, listen, it gets to a certain point, and I say, guys, look, this is what it is. You hired me, you're paying me a lot of money because somebody said this is your gal. You have to trust me, and you have to trust my process. Because clearly, if you knew exactly, if we're all in the smartest one in the room we're in the wrong room. So we all have our own gifts and our own sets of experience. I know BDC. I know over 20 years what I've seen work in the dozens that I've built from the ground up or supported. And I know what's worked and what hasn't worked. So you have to trust the person. You have to trust the process. And don't hire a BDC person because all the guys in the 20 group do it. Call that person, make sure they know what they're talking about, have a good conversation with them, and then make a determination.
So we're also still back after all these years and decades in paying attention, because if the top isn't bought in, the troops will never buy in. I was just training in Florida, and I was talking to the managers about one of the first times they ever sent me to training when I was a salesperson, and I soaked up as much as I could, and there was a couple good ideas, and I went back and I said something to my desk manager. I was like, yeah, the heck with that stuff. We don't do that here. When you're rowing in all different directions, you go in a big circle. Everything's got to be about building some kind of community and communal feeling of, hey, this is how we're going to do it. Mike, I know the part of the country you're in and the Patriots and all that, but I'm on record saying before Brady left, that Belichick is not the greatest coach of all time. We'll see how good he is when Brady leaves. The greatest coach of all time is Vince Lombardi. He took a team that was 110-1 and won 5 out of 6 championships. When he wasn't fancy, they ran the Lombardi sweep, and everybody in the league knew it was coming, but everybody hit their blocks. Anyway. It's not sexy to say blocking and tackling, but you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. I just had the pleasure of Mike's company in Connecticut, and he saw the sheet I used. I got rid of cursive. I print their name, their phone number, their email. Yes, people still write, and I don't make mistakes. I'm not that smart. It's just I ask them twice and I make them slow down. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you follow process, and people either hate or ignore process. Without process, I don't care who you are or what you are. Every year we see guys in sports that have the talent but don't have the process.
That's a good place for me to jump in. I've been watching Wendy on talk shows and listening to Mike Larkin and David Rozek, and I had a chance to talk to Joe. I always want to call him Joe Preacher from One Keel, but it's Joe Pracker or something like that. I have been always trying to create systems and controls in dealerships. I have an F&I brain, and that the process has to go from one to another. So I've been building ecosystems, what I call, where we're connecting the unconnected. So now, talking to everybody, and where dealers are making tremendous mistakes, number one, is by not hiring somebody and letting them do their job. I mean, that's the first thing that they always, you hire somebody and let them do their job and don't get in their way. But you have to have processes already for humans to do every day. And then you can start filling in the AI to do, because AI doesn't understand garbage in and garbage out. So when you're creating chaos and you think that your AI agent's going to fix everything, that's where all the experts are saying, no, the AI will hallucinate. They will not get the right. If you don't have the data in the right formats, you can't move the customer along. So with what they used BDCs as Band-Aids, but people were fortunate that they had you, because you could overcome all the other garbage and get it done. So it was you. But today, dealers need to listen to you, and they need to listen to the right people, not somebody selling something. You got everybody out there. We have AI. Well, big deal. If AI doesn't do the task that we need them to do, it's garbage. So when you started doing the human side of AI, it's clearly for dealerships to operate properly, you need humans, and then you need good processes that are trained upon, and then you can start bringing in the AI to make it easier, and then to give their people more time. I've been going in the stores, doesn't matter, I've been going in the power sports, RV, ag. No one's answering the phone. They're all too busy handling customers or handling something else. So why wouldn't you want to capture those things? You close at 6 o'clock. Well, not everybody's done shopping at 6 o'clock. Why would you turn those off? So what you're doing, Wendy, is absolutely commendable, because what dealers don't realize is they're getting Wendy. And if it wasn't for Wendy, they weren't getting this stuff done. And so the dealers need to start. I posted it today. I'm going to post it later. Doing nothing and expecting things to change is not a plan. And
Gary, and not making a decision is making a decision.
Correct. And not allowing people that you're paying that have expertise to teach your people how to do it right is crazy. And they've been doing it for 20, 30 years. Like nothing's changed. And it's like now they're going to run into a brick wall, because their leads are going to stop coming in, because if AI can't read what they're posting, and if they can't, the SEOs, those are still good, and you still need to do it, but you now need to capture human, you need to capture AI, and you need to be able to be visible wherever people are looking. And then one last thing. This one's the most amazing thing for me. I'm going into dealerships and I'm meeting people and they're saying, hey, send me an email with more of your stuff. Every one of these people have blocks on their emails. So now, what do you think you're doing with customers? How many customers do you think you're losing because you've got blocks? You've got security on your system now. It's scary. I mean, how do you expect? So then they get mad because I send it through LinkedIn or I find them on social media and say, hey, I couldn't send you the email, so I figured I'd send it here. How many customers are they losing by not having access to their website? It's no longer hiding stuff. If you are hiding stuff, sell your business to CVS or MediMart and get real estate rent and move on. So so thank you, Wendy, because it's hard work. And especially when you're swimming against the tide and the GM and the sales managers are saying, we don't need that shit. That's ridiculous. And that happens all day long.
And if you don't get buy-in from the leaders, then the people aren't going to listen to you either. Go ahead.
Rather than negative, because every time you tune in anything, it's negative. What do you see that's encouraging you in terms of what's going forward and the integrations and the things you're trying to do?
So what encourages me is that our dealers are starting to find someone through whom they can get the answers to the questions that they seek. Like my number's right there on the screen. And I have a site on my website for a 15-minute discovery call. I don't ever charge for anything. If we have a conversation, you tell me what's up and I tell you your options and whether we do business together or we don't do business together. It's important to me to educate our dealers because they simply don't know. And something to the point of where somebody says to me, well, our number that we use for click to call comes up potential spam, but the CRM company told us we can't fix that. Bullshit. Sorry. Where's the swear jar? Bullshit. I call bullshit. Put the website provider and the CRM provider on there and fix it, because that's why you're not getting engagement. Engagement is the ultimate. It's the number one. It's the numero uno. If you can't engage with the potential customers, how are you going to get them in the store? And if they're seeing potential spam, and now with the iPhones, we can have them come up as unknown callers. There's an art. Steve Ressler told you a long time ago. 5 years ago, he told us, send the text first. Say, this is Wendy from ABC Auto. Then when you make the phone call, it says, maybe Wendy from ABC Auto. And there are solutions. You're simply you don't know the right people to ask. So I've been spending the last 4 years not just blase meeting people and glittering all over sparkling all over the conventions. It's because I'm vetting the vendors. I don't represent anybody as a provider unless I've vetted them and I trust them. And most importantly, I know them to have honesty or integrity. If I find out you're screwing your salespeople and stealing their commissions, I'm never going to utter your name again. So the point is, talk to somebody that you trust. If they can't give you the answers, they'll point you to someone like me. There are dozens of us in this industry for many, many years, and we can help to advise you. So what I think the best thing for our dealers to continue to do is ask the right questions, but ask them of the right people. Find somebody who knows, because we're out here.
When we try to keep this program a little short so we can get more eyeballs on it, and we haven't heard much from our AI guy himself, Mr. Larkin. Mike, do you have any questions for Wendy before we?
Yeah, I want to make this short and sweet. With you, Wendy, it's always sweet. But you are the leader.
Wait. It sounds like you're flirting with her. She's going to give you the wrong phone number. It's kind of like Gary getting the blocked emails. I knew we would get back to this, Gary.
Of course you did. But Wendy, you've been a leader in the human side of AI.
Yeah.
Where does this, the past experience and your expertise are incredible. You're a goddess. But going forward, And taking this marathon and chopping it up is going to be intricate as far as where the industry and where the BDC is going and growing. How do you kind of temper what's going on, and decipher the shiny little objects you've seen in the past 3 years, monitoring and Clubhouse and the website? But how do you kind of vet what's working right now and was going to propel BDC, and what do you see in the future as far as, this is going to be the game changer, but the human side of it is first and foremost?
So number one, I would say the basics are the basics, and it's never going to change. The 1, 2, 3, or the ABC of driving traffic or of BDC is engage with the opportunities, convert them to an appointment, and get them into the dealership. It's all about the shows. But that said, you also have to realize, and we knew this 3 years ago, we have 14 co-founders. Many of us are futuristic in thought and progressive in action. And we knew then that it was going to be the humans that would be the glue between the humans and the tech, thus the human side of AI. And we have to realize that what we've been saying, you need somebody to champion this cause. I'm talking to a couple of dealer groups. I'm even considering going back to a corporate role because I miss being in a group situation. And I want to show somebody and help them to have that person that is the hub that connects all the fingers, the glove that goes over all the fingers, that keeps all the silos nice and warm, right? I can think of any one of a number of analogies, but that's my current one that came to mind. And the point is, you need a chief human AI officer, or you need a human in the loop, or whatever you want to call them. You need somebody that's going to make sure that beyond the building and the selling and the purchasing and the execution and the launching and the onboarding of AI, that you need to have someone that's going to continue to hold your hands for 30 days and make sure, whether it's a CRM onboarding, whatever it is, you need to make sure there's somebody championing the cause for all the BDC people, all the salespeople, all the management that's going to have intimate knowledge from experience with these products and help them to get through the first 6 weeks until it all becomes their new normal. That's why we're onboarding, because we're not getting to know our tools the right way. That's my recommendation. Make sure somebody is overseeing the whole process and that they're owning it. If you're not measuring it, you can't manage it.
So it's a one throat to choke, right?
One throat to choke.
Yep. Wendy at bdcangels.com. Her phone number is prominently displayed. Boy, it was such a pleasure to have you on, Wendy. I know I'll be talking to you later in the week and next week as I do a little effort I'm adding into the great job you're doing there. And we appreciate you being on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great afternoon. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Wendy. Good
Take care,
seeing
guys.
you.
Wendy, have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you. Bye.